Wow. It looks as though Santa is coming early this year, gentlemen and gentle ladies, beautiful women of this crypto space. I have a present that you can unwrap a little early this year, and I want to show you a very specific time frame because this stuff is down to the absolute wire. It is happening, and it is happening fast. The setup that we have been building up for weeks is finally about to move, and my gift to you, ladies and gentlemen, is a present. And what that present is a new pattern. And what does that mean? It means this pattern is about to be busted, and we will be developing a new pattern for you to track. So sit back, relax, get the kids out of their cages, and let's start the episode. Wow, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we are full, we are ready, and we are excited to tackle these patterns that we have to see with Bitcoin, guys. Today, we're actually going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be tracking the pattern we've been doing for a while now, which is, again, is absolutely looking quite beautiful. But we're actually going to be looking for something very specific on the lower time frames that we usually don't do, and it will give us a very precise time and target to look for this breakout, guys, because today is Sunday, the Sunday before Christmas, and I believe, in fact, we are going to be giving a beautiful gift. I could not be more excited. So excited, in fact, my girlfriend slept with me in my bed instead of outside in the doghouse. Guys, let's get into this episode. Before we do, a few announcements, guys. Make sure to check out the links in the bio as well as the top here. In fact, we have I think it's about a little over 1 week now until we give away this treasure on the channel. All you have to do to enter is leave a comment below. But guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and ding that bell. Wow, I cannot wait to get into this with you guys. What would I do without my morning coffee, my morning cryptos, and my cryptocurrency professional viewers out there watching this amazing setup? So guys, I just want to show you this. So what we've been covering for the last few days, let's just jump into it. What we've been covering, this has actually been pretty optimistic for the last few days. I honestly was expecting maybe a pullback to the top of this falling wedge a little sooner, but so far we've actually been holding very well. And I want to point out to you why I believe that we are actually holding right here. Very critical, and that is exactly why we need to delve into these lower time frames. Okay, we usually don't like to spend too much time on like hourly 3 or 4 hour charts, but in this case, on this close the eve of a breakout, in fact a breakout either immediately today, personally, like we've been saying, if you guys go back, you can see the last video we had 2 days, okay, and that was a day ago. So today or tomorrow, I'm not exactly sure, because this doesn't update exactly right with all the time zones and everything. So 2 days. So that would put it today or tomorrow with this big breakout, guys, as we posted about a day ago. I think it was actually a little over 24 hours ago, because it needs to be like 48 hours for this to switch to 2 days. So I think it actually it's probably somewhere in like the 30 hour ago range. So anyway, as we talked about in that video, guys, this break is actually happening. This is the setup we talked about in the previous video. Even before that, everything is just coming together. Super exciting stuff. But really the key that I want to point out to you guys is, well, so what's going on right now, okay? So you take a look at the last 3 days of data, you think, well, not much is going on. What's going on, Tyler? Give us a hint. Give us a clue. You're the guy with thousands of years of experience trading this kind of stuff. Like, what's next? All right, well, here, let me show it to you. Okay, so this is a very clear pattern on the 4 hour chart. And in fact, let's actually go to the 1 hour chart and get even more data for this. And then we'll actually go back to the 4 hour for some key critical things to take a look at. So this is a second chart that I have up, and I have on here some very key lines, okay? So I have like a smaller version of that market structure line here, like we have on the other chart. Same thing as this. This one goes like for months and months. I just have this one for the sake of what we need it for right now. Okay, this is kind of like, this is a different chart. This is actually Coinbase. Data essentially is all the same, but I just have some different indicators to highlight some different things for you guys, okay, to take a better look. So again, zoomed in, I did put the Fib retrace here. This is a golden pocket that we've been fluctuating exactly in the middle of as well there. And then we also have this falling wedge, okay, I just overlaid that onto this as well. Okay, remember when we touched the bottom there and absolutely broke out? So this is the hourly chart. You saw that wick actually was only within 1 hour. Again, guys, very key, like we'd mentioned, very key, critical. You can see that on the smaller time frames, how important that was. So what we're in now is actually very, very interesting. So this little area of data over here, right here, is the same as these 3 days right here. So these 3 days that look like it's just hovering in the middle of this golden pocket is the same as these hourly candles right here. Those are the exact same amount of time. Okay, so what is going on now, guys? Well, clearly within this There is some debate going around about this being a possible descending triangle. Now, I want to kind of point some things out. Again, this is a very small time frame. So even if, first of all, I want to get this out of the way. If this would break out, remember, we're on the 1 hour chart and 4 hour charts. Okay, this is what it looks like on the 4 hour chart. This is what it looks like on the 4 hour chart. Okay, just a little more condensed version. Actually, let's go back to the 4 hour because it's condensed enough that we can get the data we need. So this is what we have here. Now, clearly you can see a descending triangle. First of all, we're amidst like 5 bullish patterns. A descending triangle, in fact, is a bearish pattern, okay? A very bearish pattern. Okay, so, and just for an example of that, we can take a zoom back to, well, we have quite a few of them. This was the descending triangle of 2018. Boom. This was the descending triangle we had at the beginning of this descending channel that really put us in this descending channel right here. You can see that here. Let me highlight that for you guys right here. Descending triangle here, and then you can see that big fall right here. Boom. So descending triangles typically break out, and in fact, that is what's most likely with the descending triangle. But remember, these are on large time frames. So we do not have that same scenario going on here. This is a 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, and 1 hour. You can see it on that. Again, on 1 4 hour charts, you can see this. On a daily chart, it literally looks like this, okay? It literally looks like 3 little candles. So again, keep in mind, very insignificant in terms of the mass of the next move coming. But again, this is a descending triangle, typically bearish, but I also want to make an argument for why this is a very broken, shattered triangle, but I just want to start this before we get into the details of it. So I want you to keep something in mind. This is speculation that this is a descending triangle, but we do have something we need to really pay attention to, and that is the fact that when it broke down to the falling wedge, it absolutely, I mean, it really just shattered that pattern, first of all. And if we're going to look at the small time frames like the hourly and 4 hour, so these are the 4 hour, each one of these candles is 4 hours. So look at this. We had like what, 20, let's say like 10 to 15 candles, 4 hour candles outside of that potential descending triangle, okay? So if that were to be the case, first of all, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that this is a descending triangle and it's going to break, okay? Because boy, it should have actually broke by now considering this is all the space that's left. So we have to really take into account the idea that this is something other than a descending triangle, but let's say it does. And let's say that it might break down. Okay, that would play in perfectly to the mega bounce, okay? So the mega bounce is on the bigger time frames, the daily and the weekly, okay? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're excited for. But we do need to keep in mind on these smaller time frames, we could see setups that are a little bearish that lead into the macro, the bigger time frames that are extremely bullish. So if this was a descending triangle, and in fact it did break down, and you can see very, very soon, because there's not a lot of time before this pattern is completely, I mean, in my opinion, it already is kind of invalidated considering we've completely broken out of it and jumped back into it. But anyway, let's say that it did break down. Okay, there is 2 incredibly key areas that we need to look for. And I believe this line was actually moved during the transition. So let me just get rid of that line. So to the top of this falling wedge, as you can see here, the top here, we can show it on this chart down to the falling wedge here. Okay, and same here. Those are the same areas, same targets. You can just see different time frames. So if we were to fall out of that, 100%, I'm expecting a mega bounce right at the top of that, and that would completely validate the original falling wedge and just cement a lot more on the higher time frames. But that is the bearish scenario here for the descending triangle there. But again, guys, I want you to keep something in mind. I believe personally that this pattern, because of what happened, could in fact be a broadening wedge on the smaller time frames. And now this is very key, guys. So you can see that here. Let me just get rid of these 2 lines so you can see what I'm talking about better. There, those 2, broadening wedge on the smaller time frames. And guys, I want to point something out to you. Broadening wedge, a descending broadening wedge, just like we're seeing potentially on the small time frames, is similar to ascending broadening wedge, and the descending variety of wedge broadens downwards. Wow, what a tongue twister there, guys. Somebody get me some milk, because I am just tongue-tied over here. So identifying descending broadening wedges, prices make low and rises. We then track price as it rises from the low. We are looking for lower highs and lower lows in a tight range. And guys, within the broadening wedge formation, we're looking for 2 touches to each trend line. Do we have that? Do we have it? If this is in fact a broadening wedge, okay, we have one right here, 1 right here. Do we have it here? 1 right here, even though that's like 10 touches. And then like 5 right here. So yes, we have all of the necessary criteria on these smaller time frames. In fact, we do. Descending, here's the key, guys. Descending broadening wedges tend to break out upwards. So without reading any more into that, guys, we can assume that in fact, if this was a broadening wedge, as you can see here, let me highlight it again just a few times so you can see, because I have some lines that are really just, they kind of muddied up a little bit because I want to keep that falling wedge on there. Okay, so the thicker lines there, that is the broadening wedge we're talking about. this line and this line, this is the falling wedge, okay guys? So yes, within that, in fact, that would also correlate perfectly to those higher time frames that we're talking about getting that mega bounce to get back above this structural trend line. Very key critical things. Okay guys, so really that covers it, okay? That is the key thing to look at. In fact, if it is not a descending triangle, like we had mentioned earlier on these smaller time frames, in fact, what if it is some sort of broadening wedge on these smaller time frames, which again, as we see here, typically break upwards. And in fact, we have about 5 bullish indicators on the higher time frames, the 1 day and the weekly, that are absolutely prime, in my opinion, for a mega boost, mega moonshot. Okay guys, so let me know what you think below. This, and again, we think this is just going to happen insanely soon. We think this is going to happen quicker than you can bat an eye. Today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not even that far. Today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If it's not happened by Tuesday, guys, send me a letter in the mail insulting me, doing whatever you want. I will read it out loud, and everyone will be, it'll be an absolute massacre. So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure check out the links in the bio, enter for the giveaway, everything like that. Enjoy your Sunday, guys, and wow, by the time this video gets uploaded, I think we're gonna have some massive action on our hands.